My life always felt like I'm the loser. I felt like everybody's better than me. I felt like the world is a hostile place. And I just hated myself. Until I decided I will change something in my life. And over the years of experimenting with things that people recommend online, I definitely found things that do not work. But I also found things that made a drastic difference in my life. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you all those things that made a difference in my life. And I'm going to rank them from the best to the worst, starting from the worst. With every single one of those, I'm gonna first tell you a story, and then I'm gonna tell you what and how and why. Just so we are on the same page. My friend, before we go, this video is gonna be a little bit longer. So I want you to go to the kitchen, grab a nice high protein snack, put your phone down and just listen and enjoy the experience. It's late December 2023. I'm walking on a sidewalk in a village in the middle of the Swiss Alps. I'm literally surrounded by mountains. It was a period of my life when I was going through hard times with my girlfriend. I thought she was gonna be the love of my life, but I could feel that it was dying between us. So I'm walking on a straight road surrounded by snowy mountains. With every step I take, I hear the crunch of snow below my feet. I'm walking to my hotel room, which is about 2 miles ahead of me, where my girlfriend is. But my brain is betraying me. I cannot think clearly, for the love of God. I'm here surrounded by beauty, but I just can't think like a sane person. Because all of the problems me and her have right now are running in loops in my head over and over again, and I can't seem to stop it. So that's exactly when this first habit was born. I stopped on the sidewalk and I found a nearby bench, a little bit away from the main road, so that I have a little silence from me. I sat down, I pull out my phone and I start typing on my keyboards. I write absolutely everything that comes to me. Now I stand up and I feel so much better. I can finally think how I want. My friend, this is a habit that's very well known and it's known for a reason. People call it journaling, writing. I call it mental notes. I'll tell you why right now. Let's say that in your mind, there's a bunch of strings all tangled up together and it looks like a ball. These strings are your thoughts. Writing your mental notes will detangle these strings for you. The tangling happens when you just live your life mindlessly and you don't take care of your mental strings. And you're just left with a mess. That's why I call it mental notes. Brother, every time I had some problems in my life, I pull out my phone and I start typing. Because I realized that after I done it, I feel like there's been this huge weight lifted off my chest. You can do this on your phone or on your notebook. Doesn't matter. Both ways are extremely good for you, and I'm so ashamed that it's number 10, the last one.
Now watch this, boy. This looks good.
I stand up from the bench and I start walking to the hotel room once again. But after writing my mental notes, I can now appreciate the absolute masterpiece of a view all around me. There's mountains, there's villages on the top of the hills. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm now standing in an elevator up to my hotel room. I know she's in there. So I knock on the door with no response. So a little while after playing the knocking game and training my patience, she opens the door and I can tell that she's been sleeping because her eyes are puffy. But the sad thing is, she was sleeping because she was reading a book I gave her on her birthday as a gift. I wanted to know why it made her sleep, so I read a few pages and I realized, not only I'm a terrible boyfriend, but also I'm a terrible reader. And that's when the next habit was formed. Can you guess what it is? It's cricket. You must have seen the look on your face, my friend. Of course it's reading. Honestly, I'm so ashamed that the reading is number 9, but if reading is number 9, just wait what's on the top. You know why reading is the one thing that everybody you listen to online is telling you to do. Let's say there's this intelligent man who's a master at building boats. He's famous for it. Everybody loves his boats. Say you go to his museum and you see one of his boats. You instantly fall in love with the building of it, the planning of it, everything captivates you and you too want to start building boats. But you have no idea where to start, how to start, what do you need to do it. So you're lost. But your friend tells you that this intelligent man, this master, this man has wrote a book for people just like you to share his secrets of building boats. You decide to invest in this book and you read it. A few days later, you've built your own boat. And it's quite good because you learned all of the secrets from the master. Well, you do this a few times, you build one boat, another one, and suddenly you are a master as well. This is the power of reading. You're literally stealing information of successful people. Once you really understand this, that you are actually like downloading information from people who are more successful than you, like in depth, you will start reading right now. It helped me so much, it changed my life. If you're interested about this, there's a video I made. It's gonna be recommended to you right now. So yeah, reading is amazing. With this next one, we need to go back a few years, when I was 17 years old. It's 2019 and it's the Valentine's Day. I never was good with girls and girls never liked me, never wanted me. They always looked at me with that weird look on their face. But right now, I'm lying on the grass, below the night sky. I can see the stars. But I'm not here alone. There's a girl with me, let's call her Olivia. She's the first girl I ever had. But there's a reason she's here with me. There's something I did to attract her. And because of that, she literally wants to eat me. In fact, she gets on top of me and starts kissing me. She pulls away, but I can still see her face even in the darkness. She's smiling. So I'm looking at her on top of me with stars behind her. And she comes closer to me again and whispers to my ear, "There is something about you, but I don't know what it is. I want you." That is the exact moment this next habit was formed. What's your guess? What do you think this is, my friend? The thing I did here that made girls love me and drawn to me was semen retention. You probably have watched videos about this, but is it actually true? Does it actually work in the real life? Yes, it does, and I'll tell you why. Your seed is literally your energy, your life force. Let's say you wake up every single day with a health bar above your head. Every single morning, you wake up with 100 health points. The more of those points you have, the more happy and energetic you feel. This health bar is the measure of your life force. However, every time you touch yourself and watch porn, your health goes down to 50, 20, even to 0. The crazy thing about this, my friend, is that if you do this every day, you will over time start with only 50 health points instead of 100. I start my day with 500 health points. And this is because I don't waste this life-forcing energy, but I hold it within me. And that makes me want to go out into the real world and attack life. So if you waste this energy for no reason, I'm not surprised. You are tired, you are lazy, you are depressed. You're all these things. I'm not surprised, bro. A real man should choose when he ejaculates. It shouldn't be out of an impulse. Because if you do that, you just evolved back to a monkey. You're not a human anymore. You're just getting controlled by these things. It's actually more powerful than you think. Let's go back to our Switzerland situation. It's early 2024. I'm driving to the gym. But me and my girl had broken up. It did not work out. I feel shattered, like a broken glass on the floor. Devastated from the breakup after coming home from Switzerland. I needed some hope that tomorrow will be better. I decided I will use all of this emotion and all of this energy to work on myself and become an animal. But after a while of trying to do this, I found that my days feel kind of forced. It feels like I'm fighting this uphill battle, but I don't know who the enemy is. In the gym I feel weak, while working I can't focus, and because of my mental state from the breakup I can't even have normal conversations. Now we have some problems. One day I wake up, I'm lying in my bed and I grab my phone. But as I do, I notice that this is always the first thing that I do when I wake up. I have a suspicion of what could be my enemy. This next habit I call phone ghost. My friend, as much as technology has evolved so much that you can contact your friend on the other side of the globe, it's not nice to be always connected, because then you lose sense of the real life all around you. Let's imagine that your phone gets infected by a deadly virus the moment you fall asleep and it heals by 12 p.m. the next day. What would you do to not get infected as well? Put it away from your eyes, don't touch it until it's healed? You would be right. But if you do touch it while it's still healing, you will get infected. But unlike your phone, You will not recover by 12 p.m. You recover when you sleep. So you will recover the next day, the next morning. So if you want your days to be happy, productive, and alive, stay away from your phone at least until 12 p.m. It's been a while since my breakup. I quickly got over it by becoming an animal like I promised to myself. I am in nature, swimming in a lake, but it's the winter. The snow is covering nearby hills and there is a slight sunlight that's penetrating the clouds. It's that weird period between winter and summer, when mornings are freezing, but days are kinda warm. I'm aware of everything that's happening around me. The birds flying over my head, their sounds, the sounds of my hands touching the water while swimming, even my breathing. I am deep in this moment. A few years ago, this would not be possible. This would only be a dream. I was a person who wouldn't be able to even sit still, and life felt like a blur. But because of this one habit, I am now the person who is able to swim in ice, completely unharmed. And every day feels like a blessing. Instead of frowning on my days, I'm smiling through them. The habit that made me this strong and made me able to live my life without that blur, without that fog, is what I call brain work. It's a mix of 3 habits. First is breath work, then it's yoga and meditation. There are so many books about the present moment that I'm not even gonna try to explain some scientific shit to you. If you want some books to help you, Stillness is the Key and The Power of Now are 2 that I would really recommend. But what should you do, bro? If there was only one thing that I would do out of all these 3, it would be breath work. Because breath work is, oh my god, it changed who I am. I recently recorded a video about breath work, so if you watch my channel, you've seen it already. If you haven't, click here. It's gonna change you. I'm 16 years old. I'm at this campfire party in the middle of the forest. The campfire and the moon are the only sources of light that we have. Me and 2 of my friends are talking to this group of girls. They are all getting drunk at this point, but one of these girls tells me that I should join them. I have never drank alcohol before, but now I did, because it felt normal with them, and I hated it. I hated myself for doing it, because that is not who I am. I was involved with the wrong people. Fast forward 5 years, I'm 21 years old. I'm sitting below a palm tree, blocking the stars, in a tea house with 2 of my friends, Miro and Tommy. I've just gone through a terrible breakup with the girl I was with for over 3 years. In these hard and emotional moments, my vision is blurred. I can't think like a sane person. But I'm talking to my friends about this. They obviously have a detached view from the situation, so they can think normally. The things they are saying, they are brutal. But these are things I would not even think about myself had I been alone in this. Thinking back 5 years ago on that campfire party, had I still had these 2 friends, I would kill myself. But looking at Tommy in the middle, laughing in my face, is the complete opposite. Just talking to them is unlocking so many doors for me. Number 5, my friend, is talking about life with your closest friends. You don't even realize it, but sometimes you just need a different perspective on your situation. And the best way that you can do this is when you talk to one of your closest friends, because they know you very well, and if you are close to them, like really close, they probably know you better than you know yourself. You can imagine a car mechanic. His customers are always coming back the next day because something is not right. They can't start the car. And he's confused, he thinks he's right, so he sends them home. But one day his customer comes to him with the same problem as usual. But this time Benji is there, his friend who also fixes cars. So they look under the hood and our mechanic thinks Benji is gonna be as confused as he is. But Benji looks under the hood and instantly knows what the problem is. There's one loose screw here. So he makes it more tight and then they start the car. It's the normal, like usual. Turns out our mechanic has been doing this with every single customer he has. But thanks to Benji, he was able to notice this because he wasn't aware. And thanks to Benji, he did not lose his job and now has happy customers. Sometimes your closest friends can tell you one thing that will change your life forever. That happened for me back there. I'm standing on a completely flat field that once was an airport. It's the middle of the night, around 2 AM. This place is usually used to make concerts and festivals, but I'm not here for such luxury. I'm working here as a security guard, because one of these festivals is about to be built. I'm here with my friend Miro, who is sleeping on an old crooked chair below a small tree. But we can't sleep here. If somebody catches us sleeping, we're going home empty-handed. It's now hour number 43 of zero sleep. I'm staring into the darkness, making sure that nobody sees Miro sleeping on that crooked chair that's about to break any second. But I wake up 5 minutes later with my face on the grass. I try to stand up, but I can't stand up. I'm constantly falling because I'm severely sleep deprived. I'm literally falling asleep as I'm getting up and then picking myself up again. There is nothing in this world right now that I want more than sleep. But I can't, because there's this guy riding this quad, making sure nobody is asleep. That is the moment I think back 2 days ago. The night before I came here, I was lying in my bed, but I didn't want to sleep because I was busy scrolling reels. I realized how stupid I was for that. But now I understand how bad life can get if your sleep is terrible. My friend, not getting enough sleep is equivalent of you wanting to drive from LA to New York with no gas in the tank left. Or it's equivalent to you wanting to run a marathon with no legs. It's impossible, bro. If you live your life sleep deprived with 6 hours, 5 hours, even 7 hours of sleep, you're literally risking your life. And I found out the hard way. Ideally, you should get around 8 to 9 hours. That's the sweet spot. Don't listen to the advice when people tell you that they need 6 hours to function. You should ideally get at least 8 hours of sleep. At least. Unless you want to end up like me, on that grass, trying to get up. Now, we are approaching the top 3. You are about to hear things that changed my life. It's February 2022, back when COVID was a thing and everybody was scared of it. I got diagnosed with it. It wasn't as bad as people were saying, but I felt very weak. So weak in fact that every movement felt hard. It was like a workout. I have to admit, at times, my mom literally had to help me out of bed. One day, I'm in the shower when I got this brilliant idea out of nowhere. What if I start my own YouTube channel? I recorded videos back then about gaming and stuff like that, but this time this is different. I can literally live from this. But now I don't know what video I should record. I'm standing below that hot stream of water, and suddenly I have an idea. I get out, get dressed, and now I'm on my phone texting my friend Miro if he's gonna do this little challenge with me for a video. But I don't think he will. He texted me with 3 laughing emojis. So I know he won't. But then he said, yes.
I hate my life.
The things about cold shower is that it's very uncomfortable. I want to teach my body to push even when I don't want to.
It started to get easier.
You got a circle. This circle represents your comfort zone. In order to not have a boring life, you, my friend, you can't live in this circle.
I felt something I'd never felt before in my entire life. But after 4 days, like a normal person, I decided to take it to the next level. Although it lasted only a mere 5 seconds, I could tell that my life was about to take a massive turn. The cold became my warm friend, reminding me of how powerful the human body is, ultimately making me believe that I can do anything I put my mind into. I successfully killed COVID. I no longer feel weak. I feel like the strongest person in the world. Number 8, cold exposure. I'm not gonna tell you any theory here. No, my friends. But what I am gonna do is, I want you for the next 7 days to only shower in cold water. I'm not gonna tell you about the benefits. I want you to see for yourself how you will feel after it. Although I feel like the strongest person in the world, I wasn't always this strong. Back when I was 20 years old, I was in a long-term relationship with a girl I thought to be the love of my life. Another one. It's only a few days until we are 2 years together. I feel lonely. I do have a girl, but I feel lonely. There is an empty void in me. Nothing seems to fill it. I'm weak, I look skinny in clothes. My girlfriend doesn't even respect me because she's texting other men behind my back. But I don't even respect myself because I try to ignore it just to be with her. The life I'm living is quite foolish. One day I'm driving home after dropping her off. I look at my chopstick of an arm that's gripping the steering wheel. I'm ashamed. I'm comparing myself to the guys she's texting. They're all jacked, muscular. But I'm weak. I'm skinny. In that moment I decided that something will change. But for real this time, because I tried to do this many times before, only to quit after a few days. But this time feels different. The next day my girl texted me if I'm gonna pick her up at the same time as usual. But I don't see this message, because I'm doing push-ups on the floor in the gym. I decided I will start weightlifting because I hate myself. I wanna find ways to my own heart. Only 1 year later I'm standing on a beach, shirtless. But I no longer have my girl. There is a group of hot girls to my left, just looking at me, observing me. This reminds me of that 1 year of hard work I put into myself. I can clearly see it now. But here is another huge decision I make. I am going to train and work out for the rest of my life, because I never felt this good in my own skin. I'll tell you one thing about this, bro. This is weightlifting. If you are suffering from some mental health issues, like you really want to consider ending it all, or your girl left you and you're there alone, you hate yourself, you can't even look in the mirror. There is one thing I will guarantee you will save you, and that is going to the gym. You heard it many times before, but there is a reason why it's here. Number 2, there's only one thing left. This thing absolutely changed my life. It is the reason why I am who I am today. Without me actually starting to go to the gym every single day, I would not be talking to you right now. Do you understand how powerful that is? I wouldn't be reading books. I wouldn't be taking cold plunges. I wouldn't be even that attractive to women. Not because of the looks. Of course, it made me look attractive as fuck, I know. But that mental aspect it's gonna give you is priceless. Nothing that you can do with your life can compare to that. Well, almost. There is only one thing that's better. Nothing you heard so far would be possible if this last piece of the puzzle was missing. Everything happens for a reason. You watching this video, you having that friend, you struggling with that one thing, you with that depression, you listening to the sound of my voice. All of this has a deeper meaning if you look closely. This video was sent to you by some higher power, because right now is the right time for you to be hearing these words. When I was 21 years old, I'm still standing on that beach with this group of girls observing me, but I left out a very crucial detail. Remember my friends Tommy and Miro? This beach is very close to an airport, so you can see the planes flying very close to the ground over the sea and then landing to the right. So we are taking pictures with these planes for Instagram. Tommy is taking pictures of Miro, but as he's holding the phone, I noticed the tattoo on his arm. It's some ancient text that I don't understand. For some reason I'm drawn to it. So I asked Tommy, what does it mean? And he tells me, blessed. Something hit me right in the heart as he says it. But I'm an atheist, so I brush it off. 2 months later, I'm home, reading a book called Hard Times Create Strong Men, when there's a section when he writes about God. To be honest, I wanna skip this part. I don't wanna read it. But I decided that I will just speed read through it. I'm on page 306. It changes my life forever. I'm never the same. I'm getting goosebumps as I read. Almost 2 years later, I'm planning my trip to Switzerland to visit my girlfriend. I should be excited, but I have a little suspicion that something ain't right. So remembering the words that I read in that book 2 years ago, I close my eyes and I speak. God, if you are real, please show me if she's worth my life. Do it the hard way if you wish, because I can take it. I open my eyes, not expecting anything, because I'm still not convinced God is real. I take my bus to Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland. It's 3 a.m.
This is the Switzerland dream. 3 a.m. No soul, no people, just me and the sound of my bag.
I need to find the train station to take the train to her village. Somehow I find it. I step in and I immediately see a man holding a knife. He seems to be sleeping though, so I'm okay. I'm there for 3 hours until 6 a.m. because that's the earliest train that comes. So I step inside the train, but I see that the destination on that little thing is different from when I compare it with my phone with the ticket I have. I swear my heart skips a beat. I'm in an unknown country, I'm sleep deprived and I'm lost. So I start asking people on my train if I'm on the right one. And everybody says that I am, so this calms me down. I'm calm. Apart from one man. He speaks to me in a way that I would one day love to speak. I feel different around him. It feels like he knows the world better than anyone I've ever met before. So he tells me that I indeed am not on the right train. I shake his hand to thank him, but I have maybe like 20 seconds to sprint outside and find my train. I still don't know where it is. With my heavy suitcase as well. Somehow I make it. And yes, now the destination is correct. It's my train, so I can relax now. However, in the middle of my train ride, my train breaks down, so we have to evacuate and hop onto a different train. My girlfriend has been living here for over a full month, and she tells me that this never happens in Switzerland. But somehow, I make it to her village. The next day at around midnight, we have this conversation before going to sleep, and she tells me that she thinks she doesn't want a relationship. Well, it's kinda late, I'm already here, but I accept it after trying to fight for it. So I plan to leave the next day. The next day, however, she tells me the complete opposite. And we actually have a very wholesome day. Until the night arrives again. But this time it's worse. She's literally kicking me off the bed to not sleep next to her. For a time I was sleeping on the floor before moving back to the bed. It seems funny, but I was truly heartbroken. I thought she was the love of my life. But because of other things, it did not work out. So I decided that regardless of what's gonna happen tomorrow, she showed me that I shouldn't be here and I shouldn't be with her. So I booked a train back home. The next day, as expected, it was good again, but it was too late. We decided to stay together, but now it's 10 days later. I'm home. I'm sitting in my kitchen, sipping a herb tea. I open Instagram, but I can't find her profile. She's blocked me. At this moment, I think back a few weeks ago to my prayer. Everything I asked for happened. It was hard and I got shown what I wanted to see. So, God is real. And that man on that train was an angel. My friend, the #1 best self-improvement habit is believing in God, praying, being a fucking strong believer, because I was an atheist back in the day and I regret every single second of that, because I was so stupid for thinking that it's the right way to live. I'm not saying you are stupid if you are an atheist, because I've been in your shoes, so I understand why you have these beliefs. But I understood, my friends, that without God, nothing is possible. Absolutely nothing. Everything you heard me talk about today is connected. When I started weightlifting, that's also when I started to discover more aspects of improving myself. That's when I started to take cold showers, which changed my life so much. My friend, every time I asked God to show me something, it happened. Not in a way you would expect, no, but it happened. Every time I showed gratefulness to God, I suddenly feel good. And you know why, my friend? Because you might have a perfect plan for your life. Your plan might be 10 out of 10. But God's plan, the plan that God has for you, is 11 out of 10. Once you understand this, you will realize the true strength of believing in God. There is one book I would like you to read, and that is Conversations with God. And I'm not saying you should go and join religion. That's not really what God is about. Yes, it's connected to God and shit. But if you really want to understand God, a very unconventional book for you. People would recommend the Bible or the Quran. But I think if you want to get detached from religions, you should read this book. It's amazing what God's plan can do for you, really. I could sit here talk about it for so long, but I know that so far, what you heard today is already good enough for you to change something that you're doing, to not feel depressed, to start living the way you should. So, these were 10 things, 10 habits that changed my life. Absolutely. Put down in the comments how many of them you're already doing. And also, my friend, if you want to change your life much quicker, find God, build your body, get a better relationship with a girl, even attract a girl, whatever you want, click the first link in the description and I'm going to help you achieve that much quicker. And remember, my friend, we go above and beyond. Wabba!